everybody, and welcome to The Green Card with my beautiful, amazing guest, Chanel Ali.
Hi, I'm not from here.
And she's from New York, and we're gonna talk all about it. Thank you for listening. If you liked, please subscribe. Okay, hope you enjoy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's just great to be in your space.
Oh my God, thank you so much. What a great start. What a great energy we have already.
Yeah, we're going to the casino.
We're going to the casino. Well, speaking of casino, we've been doing some winning, haven't we?
Yes.
We got a free meal at the Shoom.
Free meal at the Shoom.
We rolled the dice, we won, and we've been doing the thing.
We have been manifesting.
We've been manifesting.
You have a theme song?
I do have a little theme song. A really nice guy named Charlie made me like a reggaeton like kind of jingle.
Nice.
And yeah, it's really cute. It is really cute. Shout out to Charlie.
I'm going to try really hard not to make a funny Spanish accent.
Okay.
The whole podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I love that. That's a really good. That's really, thank you for that. Thank you for that attempt to do that. Because sometimes people do it and I'm like, okay.
Please do not clear your throat at me. I don't want it.
Yeah. Okay, what was I gonna say? So first of all, Chanel, we met Limestone Comedy Festival, Indiana.
Classic story. Bloomington,
Indiana.
We be worldwide.
We're worldwide.
Because tell the people where we at right now.
Now we're in London.
Yeah, don't tell them your address, but this is where we at. And we met over there.
And we met over there.
Yeah, that was wild.
And then we went to Kentucky.
We met at brunch, a comedian's brunch.
Yes.
And you kind of like peered off into the wind and you were like, I got a car and I'm going to drive it to Kentucky and go to a museum. And I was like, this girl's like me. She talks like me. Is that what I sound like? I'm getting in that car.
Yeah, where we got in that car?
I'm getting in that car then. And we immediately like got up from the table.
Yep.
Got in the car and drove to Kentucky.
And we invited people and they're like, whoa, we can't go to Kentucky.
They made us feel so crazy. They're like, you can't go to Kentucky right now.
Yeah.
We were like, says who?
Do you need a passport to go to Kentucky?
What are the rules for Kentucky?
No rules for Kentucky.
You're from a different country. It's like, what? She's not going to come all the way over here and not go to Kentucky if she wants to go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're taking her for sure.
We're going.
Yeah.
We're going. We went to Muhammad Ali Museum.
Mm-hmm.
We learned so much.
Yeah. He's my uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
I just say that because it makes white guys excited.
Yeah. Do people believe it?
Only people down south, like in Kentucky. Because I was actually no, even some northern states, like because I've been in like Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been like, or Montana, and they've been like, you're related to Muhammad Ali, aren't you? Come on, they get like accusatory about it. You're related to Muhammad Ali. So you're just black. You're just black and you have that name and you're doing entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, my mom is Indian. It's a very popular last name in India. And they're like, you're a fucking liar. Where is Muhammad Ali? Go get him. They get really accusatory about it. I don't appreciate it, but...
Yeah, but that's cool.
But sometimes I do think it's interesting because if I was related to Muhammad Ali, I would punch comedians all the time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's plausible to think Muhammad Ali could have a comedian daughter.
Yeah.
Or granddaughter or niece or whatever.
Yes.
But wouldn't I be more punchy?
Yeah, you would be a bit more.
You know?
You'd be more.
And I only ever ask comedians to step outside. I never try to punch them in the show or at the bar. Never.
Wow, comedians fight. You got into a comedian's fight before?
No, but I did ask a comedian to come outside and fight, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've tried to pacify myself. But sometimes...
I think it's important to recognize the duality of artists.
Yeah.
You know, I have no problem being totally honest when someone asks me about someone else, being like, oh, so-and-so? So funny. It's a really good writer. Amazing performer. Stage presence. Bad heart? Terrible soul.
Terrible soul.
Lack of morals.
Lack of morals.
Funny guy. Silly. You never know what he's going to say or hit. That guy. You know? And I'm just like, why can't we say both? Why can't we say both?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm talking shit. I'm telling you, I know this person. They're bad. Good at comedy, but they're bad. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think most of comedians are pretty amazing people. but a lot of them are bad people.
There's a lot of, well, it's a hard industry to be in because I feel like everyone wants the limelight, so that comes in its own with its own problems in itself.
Yeah, and what's the bigger flex than being the funniest person? Like that's,
yeah, it's a big flex.
It just feeds your ego to an extent that's probably unhealthy for us.
Also, it's a place where like it's a misfit, like society. It's very like everyone who is an outcast in any other social setting goes into the social setting where they like the people who are the most outcasted somehow are have the highest status.
Yeah. So
it's a change up for people.
Yeah, and then there's like some nepo babies sprinkled in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We got gangs.
Yeah.
We got, sects.
Yeah. Levels.
Yeah.
But I remember that car ride that we took to Kentucky was very important for me in that time of my life.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
That makes me so happy to hear.
Because I
almost remember giving you good advice.
You gave me really good advice. But I also
don't remember it because the other day I was like, I think I need that advice. I was trying to remember what the hell I said to you.
You gave me really good advice because, so the car ride I took I must have flew into Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And then rented the car from there.
Oh, you rented a car? I thought it was like a friend's car or something.
No, I
couldn't remember.
I rented a car from Indianapolis and then drove to Bloomington. On that drive, I phoned the guy I was in the toxic situationship.
Yeah.
I phoned him and he was like, well, like, just, I'm seeing other people. I'm seeing other people, like, you're going to be on board or not. And then I remember it was hard. It was really hard. And then I had to do a festival that in
Indiana.
Yeah, and it was a big thing. Like, I hadn't done a festival in the U.S. for a while.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to just strap on my titties, and just do the thing.
Make people laugh.
Yeah.
Be personable and charming.
Yeah.
And feel like you are love.
Yes.
Embodiment.
Yes. And then we went to that car. We did that car ride, and we just started talking, and you just give off this energy of, I deserve to be at this table. This like confidence, and I was like, whoa, I want a taste of that. It was like a constant reminder of being like, oh, I don't have to be like this. Oh no. Oh man.
Yeah. But it's almost kind of like switching your mentality in a moment and deciding like, I'm not out here feeling less than because of one person's inability to like express their feelings. I'm killing it at a festival. Also, Limestone is one of the most important festivals in America. It was my first credit, so I was going back that second time to do it. So it's an incredible festival. Also, hanging out with really dope comedians.
Yeah.
You've come from across the pond to do it. Like, that's amazing. You were like one of the people who came from the farthest.
Yeah.
And now you're in a car with someone else who's really dope.
Yeah, but it was things like that. That was a point in my life where it was just controlling me so much. And like his validation was really important to me.
Yeah. And you're being more and more isolated in that.
Yeah.
More and more isolated to where like you don't care what other people think.
Yeah. And
your accomplishments they're starting to not mean something
to
you.
No, they would, it took me a really long while to actually sit in accomplishment, but also be like, sit back and be like, oh, I can be happy. I can be like,
feel fulfilled and some of these things.
Yeah, some of these things. And like, even like getting my visa, I'm like, oh, that was really hard for me and the things that I had to accomplish to do that.
Yeah.
That's
a huge obstacle.
Yeah, but before then I was like, oh, it doesn't really mean anything because he still doesn't want to be with me exclusively.
Yeah.
Like, but that was my whole framework.
Yeah. I think that can happen, especially like once we start to become more of an artist also.
Yeah.
Like, we love deeply.
Yes.
We care about people and we think about them in like even creative ways to make their lives better. And so when we don't see that somebody values that, it's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, what do you think this life is about? And then it's like, oh, are you dumb?
Yeah.
I started to wonder, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on that you could not value good companionship and like somebody who gets you?
Well, that's it exactly. And I think it's like, especially like the further along you get on this journey, the lonelier it gets, or it can get.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like it's easy to hold on to those people because it's like, well, you want to have a journey. You want to go on a journey with somebody. You want to experience this with somebody, somebody who gets it. And then the thought to find somebody new and explain the journey to them is like
really draining. And
that's
really
the thing
hard.
that gets me. Yeah.
That's why we have to also like nurture all of our relationships like circularly. We got to have good friends.
Yeah.
You know, keep the family that's keeping us family.
Right.
You know,
right.
Having a chosen family is so important. And I think even that's what really happened in the car. You were like, for the first time, you were reminded like, oh, someone else can give me validation too.
Right.
And I can have like equal love in my life that's not solely centered on this one person, which is long term more healthy. Like people live a longer life when they have really good friends and a healthy relationship, you know?
Right.
So we can't, especially as an artist, get too tied up in one person.
Yeah.
Because they can't always come with us.
Yeah. But gosh, that was a really important car ride.
How do you feel now? Do you feel like you've had like breakthroughs?
Yeah. I feel like it's been every time where you think there's a breakthrough, then it's like there's a like a relapse of some sort. I feel like it, because I talk a lot about it or there were points where I talked about it as if it was an addiction because it felt like that.
It was like constantly replaying in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were like times where it got really bad. I was just like creating all these scenarios in my head.
Yeah. Like how about what everybody else was perceiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's so weird because people say it just stops. It just stops, and
yes,
and it kind of does. Like there's
one day you have enough.
Yeah,
and you know I want to say that's what I really saw in you when I met you that day, because when I first met you, you didn't look like you were going through something. You didn't look like that. But then when we started talking and you were honest about like what was consuming you, you still didn't feel like you were in the middle of it. It felt like you were right almost at the end. It felt like you were starting to do this thing, like I said, you were looking away, where you were starting to be like, have I been wilding a little bit? Have I been doubting myself in a way that like doesn't even, like I'm driving a car currently, and have I been acting like I don't know if I can drive a car?
Yeah. And
you were starting to be like, I think I need to question more things around me and what people are telling me about myself and about what I'm capable of. Yeah. And really start like being who you are.
But this is such an interesting thing because like that time period was a long time coming. But then the thing is, you do a little bit of, I did some therapy. I've done therapy for a few months now, maybe 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that's hard to settle with is the realization that it's a pattern.
Absolutely.
That's what really gets you.
Really hard. The hardest thing. The hardest thing to even face that. It's the hardest thing because we obviously ignored some things
all the time.
Get to this point. You know, we yearned for something so specific that we allowed.
Right.
And then now we have to unlearn. But also for me in therapy, when I got out of a toxic relationship, the hardest thing I had to do and the biggest thing I had to do was forgive myself.
Right.
And that was when I felt like I had a breakthrough. When I stopped replaying all the things that made me angry or sad or made me feel unwanted, when I stopped doing that and I started thinking about how if I was my own daughter, I would have pulled her out of that. At what point? I was like, you knew that, Chanel. That's what I had to talk to myself and say, Chanel, you should have pulled yourself out of that. Like, I am sorry that I didn't keep Chanel safe. I should have kept her safer. And now I'm going to keep her safer.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that I invest time in having a lot of people who love me and care about those. I'm going to foster those relationships first.
Right.
And having a partner is important to me, but I'm also not just going to allow whatever. I'm going to take as I need and what is beneficial to me and just reformat that whole conversation because it's about us. I mean, we're powerful.
Right.
It's about us.
I think that's so powerful, the reframing of the self and like the relationship with the self. I think that's really often forgotten.
And we can like simplify it and make it sound like, oh, I just did this like over a couple weeks with my therapist. But like, no, this came from like journaling and crying and listening to a good playlist. You know, you gotta have some good music. But yeah, it is a journey. And, you know, when you're front facing, dealing with the public, how many times have we been rejected in comedy?
Oh, like we just came back from Edinburgh, and that was like the flyering and the
being out on the street. Like, I'm funny.
Yeah,
come in here in this dungeon. I'm doing a show. I know it sounds crazy. Come in this chamber.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a show and I'm funny. Take this paper. Take this paper. It's just like, that's a lot day in and day out.
It is a lot.
So we
constant rejection, constant like it's so hard to keep yourself, to stay in your lane in this industry, because like we're all in our own lane, but there's like, it's a competitive nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like really no one else has the capacity, because no one else has what any individual like perspective has. But it's hard. A lot of rejection.
I always say it's okay to like peek over in other people's lanes, but then you got to get back to running your race. You know, you got to get back to like what you're doing, because if they're gonna keep running, you got to keep running. Yeah,
that's true. So you did Edinburgh.
Yes.
You want to go back?
Yeah, I want to go back.
Yeah. How do you like the UK? Do you like it out here?
I do like it. My first trip here, I saw this guy. He was crossing the street and he like tripped a little, and he said, "Oopsie daisy." And I just love that. That was amazing. The culture here.
That's some strong culture. What do you think the biggest differences are from London to New York?
Well, I think the world, because I've traveled a lot of places, I just think the world as a whole appreciates comedy as an art form a little more outside of America.
Right.
And I am from America, so that's hard for me to say. Like, I love Philly. I love performing in New York City. But New York City people see so much art at such a high level every day. Just walking down the street, they can pass a Basquiat painting hanging in the side of a little gallery. Like, and it's free. You can just walk in there and see it. I used to do that. I would call galleries and be like, "Y'all got your Basquiats out today?" "No, I'm not coming then." "When are they going to, what the date and time you going to bring out the Basquiats?" "I'm not going to your museum unless I see 2 Basquiats." Not a member. So yeah, New Yorkers see so much art every day that when they come and see live performance, it's hard for them to uncross their arms.
Right.
It's hard for them to loosen up their buttholes.
Yeah.
Some of them are very well read. And so you experience pockets of those variation of those factors in the States way more than out here. Or in other countries, even like in Canada. I feel like they appreciate comedy more. But I like it out here. And I also just love how my accent is like just so interesting. Like, we were at a bus stop yesterday, and this little kid asked me if I was famous. And when we got on the same bus, me and him.
Yeah, and he was following you.
Yeah, a little bit, probably.
Yeah.
It did kind of feel like that. But
yeah.
I never really feel too afraid of, like, a man in public if they're about my height. I'm always like, I could take you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
He wasn't scary.
Yeah, he was definitely interested in hearing more about our stories.
Yeah. Yeah, he liked
you ever had a stalker?
No.
It's going to happen.
You think so?
Yeah, I do think it's going to happen.
Have you had a stalker?
Yeah, I had one early in my career, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They followed you to shows?
Yeah, they would come to all my shows with a bouquet of flowers.
Oh my God, did you keep them or were they weird?
I mean, I would take them out of the show, but then I would
throw them away?
Yeah. And then one time I gave it, because I was staying with a friend, and I gave them to his friend's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah?
And somehow the stalker found out, and he got so mad.
Oh.
He was like, "So you take those flowers over there, and you guys were just laughing at me." And I was like, "No, it was a nice thing. She was flowers. Everybody's flowers." But again, he was a little shorter than me, so I was never really that scared of him. I was never that scared of him.
Never scared.
Yeah, but then I just moved, and then he couldn't find me anymore.
I never had a stalker, but I did used to have this old man who used to come into my work and bring me scratch off, like lottery cards.
Okay.
What are they called?
I don't see anything wrong with this relationship.
Okay, he'd come and bring them.
He's worried about your financial health.
Yeah, he was worried.
And excitement.
He was worried.
We're gambling.
He was worried.
No, I'm kidding. This is inappropriate.
But then he'd come like every week and like just give me stuff.
What would he say?
He would just he was just like he was a weirdo.
Yeah.
And he was like old and loud.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like say some stuff like out of pocket stuff like he'd just be there waiting.
What do you say? What do you say? "Do you need any money?"
No, I can't remember.
He's no good.
I can't remember like how he came across, but I feel like he just thought I needed money. But like
no, but there was more than that, right? Oh, you thought you were pretty.
Well, yeah, I think that because he'd just be there and like he'd go and he'd like stand in the corner and stretch his back and like just like so like you'd just see he'd be like hovered over. He'd be like, "My back," and I'd be like. It was so weird. And he'd be really loud. And
What?
he'd
The
be
store never said anything?
Well, it was my family's place.
Oh.
So we couldn't really say anything.
Mm.
And so then he he used to say some outlandish, like some racist things, like just like random, like what are you talking about? And it'd be like, he'd just be in the corner there. One day he's like, when's your birthday? I'm like, July. He's like, I missed it. And it was May. It was May. It was May. The next week he comes in with a cake.
Yes. Because he's good with calendars.
Yes. And the restaurant is full. He comes in and he walks in the door, happy birthday. And it was so embarrassing.
And this is June?
We were in May. We were still in May.
Still in May?
We're still in May. So he comes in and then people are like, I didn't know it was your birthday.
And you were like,
I'm like, it's not my birthday. And I'm like, I don't trust this cake.
Oh, hell
I don't
no.
trust that. And he gave me, but he got mad at me for something. And I can't remember what he got mad at me for.
You know what you did.
Probably didn't.
You won that scratch off and didn't tell him.
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, that was, I think, the only.
Was this in California?
It was in California, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to always happen to us. I mean, even with regular guys at a bar. The other day I met a guy at a bar and he said after a while of like making him laugh and then revealing that I was a comedian to him and his friends. And then he said like he thought for a while and he was like, I don't really find female comedians funny. And I was like, no? And he was like, no, like, can you think of one female, like a famous female comedian that's really funny? And I was like, Wanda Sykes. And he was like, and then he didn't say anything else the rest of the night. No retort. Couldn't. What could he say?
Yeah.
What could he say? And don't get me wrong. I could have said a lot of names.
Yeah.
But the absoluteness of what he was, it's just there are none. You don't know. Think of one. Oh, that is a good.
But also it's
he
like.
He could have just conceded, right?
Yeah.
But also like that type of ego that especially men have to say something like that to someone who's just told them that they're professional at this thing. It's just never ending.
The male ego. One time I was out and this guy was chatting to me and then he was like, oh, what do you do? And my friend was there and she's like, oh, she's a comedian. I'm like, I don't like saying it.
Sometimes it can make the party shift.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, that's cool. Well, I've done a best man speech.
I hope you killed him. Is he dead? Did he go like this after?
No, he was like, he was for sure like, that's the same thing. That's the same thing that we do.
Where are your knives?
Yeah.
We gotta get him.
I know. I'm like, what?
Hell no.
And I'm like, my friend,
what did you say?
I was like,
you were trying to be nice.
Not the same thing.
Yeah.
I do try to be nice a lot, but then sometimes it really depends on my mood.
I also will say sometimes I've like really told people about themselves. Like I've been introduced to somebody and they said, "Oh, tell me a joke," and then I was like, "Hey, shouldn't really ask artists to do that because it's very disrespectful and it's like, I'm not a clown. Those are very different things and blah, blah, blah. I get paid money, blah, blah, blah." And like I've had people like internalize it and come up afterwards and say like, "I'm sorry I asked you to tell me a joke." Like that was fucked up.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That they do. I really I love seeing some growth.
I love reflection.
We love a reflection.
Hurry up, but
yeah.
I love for you to reflect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's going to be a constant with just being a female artist. People are always going to be like, we could be painters.
Right.
And a man would come in and be like, I could have painted that.
Yeah.
But at least a woman would whisper.
Yes.
I could have painted.
I could maybe. No, they'd say maybe I could have. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Sorry, but I do. Sorry, I think I could maybe paint. I've been painting my whole life. I don't know. Sorry.
That's very. Yeah. I'm very bad for that. Sorry.
No,
I'm
we're
here.
working on it.
Sorry,
because we don't like that.
Sorry, I don't know.
We've been taught it, but also we're gonna fix it.
Yeah, I'm like I don't like. I also walk off stage. I have one friend that always like thinks I'm in a negative. He's like, you just enjoy comedy because you always don't seem happy. I'm like, no, I just like no, I can do better, and I'm not gonna sit here and come off stage and be like, that was great. I'm like, because
you're competitive.
Yeah,
in a healthy way.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. One time I went to a show and a comedian saw my set, and then we went to the same next show, and he overheard somebody ask me, "How was your set at the last show?" And I was like, "It was okay." And he was like, "Chanel, shut up! Like, I saw your set; it was great. You just had like one joke that they didn't like." And I was like, "No, that's not what you don't get it."
Yeah.
I can't just have a joke that they don't like. I'm trying to be killing all the time. I'm trying to be, this is very serious to me. I'm spending every ounce of my energy, every dollar I have on this dream. So no, if I have a whole joke that people don't like in the middle of a show at a club, I'm upset with myself, you know? Right. And that guy who said that to me is not a comedian anymore.
They always fall off.
He's not even a comedian anymore.
They always fall off.
And he was like, you're being too hard on yourself. I was like, you need to be harder. You need to beat your own ass.
When you first started, did you have comics who were like trying to like, because I had like male comics who were like inappropriate with me, and then they would like made me put me off comedy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The first time I like opened for like a national headliner, I was really excited because he one time had been on a TV show that I used to like. Yeah. And so I was just excited to meet him. I just thought it was kind of cool because I remembered him from this one episode of TV when I was little. And so we do this casino gig, and it's fine. You know, it's an average casino gig, and the whole time I'm saying, like, my boyfriend let me borrow his car to come to this casino because we had to drive to the casino. Yeah. I drove my boyfriend's car. I parked my boyfriend's car over here. I'm going to walk to my boyfriend's car now. He's like, yeah, I'll walk you. And so we get to the car, and he, like, pushes me up against the car, and he kisses me. And I'm like, I'm just frozen in shock, right? And he's like, have a good night. And he just walks away, like, you know, really feeling himself. And I'm shocked because even though I have seen every VH1 story and every artist's tale, I'm still like, man, I really felt like I made a clear boundary with this guy. Yeah. Even not even heavy-handed, because I didn't really feel like he was hitting on me. I felt like I was just sharing about my life and saying that I had a boyfriend. I'm going to my boyfriend's car. And so the next day he messaged me on Facebook, and he was like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. You seem like you weren't into it. And I was like, yeah, because because of everything I had been saying. I wasn't into it. And I'm actually happy that something smaller like that happened first, because then it kept my wits. It taught me to keep my wits about me. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes people are blinded by how talented they think they are and blah, blah, blah. But it didn't turn me off of comedy. It just made me recognize that I'm choosing to walk into a world that has a lot of negativity. And until I get to a certain point, I probably can't change too much of it. But at least I can be another safe space where if I headline that casino now and a woman comes with me, you know, I'm just going to steal her car. I'm not going to try to kiss her, you know. I can change. Yeah. But it didn't turn me off of comedy. I was already way too hard-headed about, I already knew enough.
That's quite good, because I had events that put me off. I'm like, it made me stop for a solid amount of time.
What brought you back?
I think that person one was a different city, so someone is in the Bay, but then in LA, what brought me back, I think maybe time, and then also just the wanting to continue to do it, because after like a few events, I was like, no, I'm not gonna go back. I'm not gonna mic anymore. And then there was a comedy club at UCLA, and then, so I think that helped me. After like a good amount of time, I went back, and then I started like going back there, and then I think because it was more of a safer space, and it kind of gave me the courage to like go back. Yeah. And I didn't see the guy around as much anymore. Like I saw him like sometimes, but yeah. But things like that really, and also there was a power dynamic thing too, because he had done something that was really uncomfortable for me. But then also like he had just straight up said that I didn't have what it takes to make it in comedy. Yeah. And then it makes it like even worse, because it makes you believe it. And I feel like, especially when there's someone who's in a position of power being like, I know, and you don't know. So
I definitely also had older comics who said harsh things to me about certain jokes. Like one time I have a joke about my name, you know, how sometimes people call me Channel. And like an older comic was like, you should drop that joke. Like, just drop it. And I was like, really? Because this happens every day in my life. Like, this is a big part of my life. That people talk about my name. I think it's a funny joke. I've done that joke on Comedy Central now. I got money off that joke. Yeah. So it's like nobody's opinion is ever going to be 100%.
No.
Like, we just can't listen to people like that.
No way.
We can't even give them.
And a lot of advice like that comes from people's own insecurities.
Absolutely. I will say that I do feel like I have seen growth in certain comedy communities where if a woman tries to bring awareness to something, they're more willing to hear her out. They're not always going to do the appropriate thing, but at least I think they're getting to a point where they're like, we should listen and maybe try to understand that some of the women in this comedy scene are facing something a little different than what we have been facing.
Right.
And that in and of itself provides them with enough perspective to provide more safe spaces for us.
Yeah.
So I have seen some growth like that. And just like more women.
Yes. Well,
since before I started.
This is like, there's so many more women. There's still a lot of spaces that like don't book women.
Yeah. I love to write a booker and let them know, hey, this lineup is giving beard.
Yeah. But some people still don't care.
I know, but at least you can tell them, remind them that we see them. I think that's a healthy step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay if you exclusively want to be known as the guy that only books Toms and Joes and Steves.
Yeah.
But we see you.
We see you, but also I always view it like a lot of times the women buy the tickets. Yeah. A lot of times women are bringing their boyfriends or whatever. So
great. Some of the best comedy fans have been, for me, women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some good male comedy fans, but the girls.
It's relatable.
They're organized. They're bringing their friends. They're spreading the word.
Yeah.
A lot more than the boys.
Yeah, but it's just that relatability aspect of it taken from them when they have all male lineups.
Yeah, because they are going to talk about their dicks, and they are going to talk about masturbation. And sometimes it's creative.
Yeah, and we want to talk about dicks, and we want to talk about masturbation.
Us try.
We want to do it.
Us dick joke too.
Yes.
Also, I think it trickles down and it affects how many lady comedians become.
Yeah. Because
I always say this, if like every little girl has an uncle in her life who's saying women aren't funny, and a grandpa, and a dad, and a teacher, and a brother who's constantly saying women are just not that funny. If she has a funny idea, she's going to shut up about it.
Yeah.
She's not going to tell anybody. She's not going to write a new TV show that everybody will love.
Yep.
She's not going to star in a sitcom. She's not going to do it because you kept telling her she couldn't.
Right.
So like, stop saying that. Like, we have to remove that idea that women can't possibly be inherently funny and good at being funny professionally. We have to like stop saying that in general.
Yeah.
Because I think strongly that there's a few ladies out in the world who are working menial jobs and could have been the next Eddie Murphy type comedian, but they never tried it.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck their uncle said.
Did you have a lot of negativity when you were starting stand up around you of like that you can't do it or?
Yeah. And I was in a relationship that I really felt like was going to be, I thought I was done. And then I started getting good at comedy, and he was not about that shit. He did not like that. No, and that was like the first time I realized, like, oh, you're not going to be able to take everybody with you if you really do this. Like, some people have fallen in love with who they thought you were.
Right.
And now that you're expanding more on who you actually are, they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is a lot for me. You could go on a podcast and say anything to the world, and they might listen. You might have power in your voice. I can't deal with that accountability. I gotta date a girl who's a secretary.
Yeah. They do not deal with the dynamic well. Yeah. But also like it's like you having more status.
Absolutely, yeah. And I remember the first relationship I was in comedy, my first like boyfriend while I was a comedian, he said to me one day, I'll never forget, he said, when you're on stage, people are looking at you. And that's it. That's all he said. And I understood what he was saying. He was like, I'm realizing that other people are looking at you and maybe saying why I love you and why you're so great. Yeah. And I hate that. Yeah. I hate that they can see you. Yeah. I wish I could keep you in the house where they can't even see you. Yeah. And I do feel like since then, most of my relationships have felt like that. I'm like, men always want to keep me in the house. Yeah. They're always trying to like shield me from, I don't know, getting other people's attention, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, you can't, because my job is attention. You got to be secure. It takes a really secure man to be supportive of you doing your dream. Yeah. And it becomes like either or. Like, you either need somebody who can handle the spotlight too, or somebody who's super comfortable being out of the spotlight. Right. And doesn't have a lot of Instagram followers. Yeah. I want a guy with no Instagram followers. Yeah. We talk about this. I want somebody who doesn't even use it. Mm-hmm. I want somebody who just goes on Instagram
to like my posts.
Yes, to support me.
Support me.
Because they know that my social media is an extension of my brand and my business
yes.
now. And to send me nudes if you want to, because sometimes
on Instagram you like
sometimes you can.
I think WhatsApp is preferred. Okay, but that's just
I'm trying to be open and honest with the world.
Open and honest. I think we need more of it. You know.
Hell yeah.
That brings me into. I have some questions here.
Oh, I had an idea that something was going on in these cups.
Have you heard about these 36 questions that lead to love?
Is that where like two people have to sit in front of each other and ask those questions, and then like a lot of those people end up falling in love?
Yes.
I have heard about that.
All right. Well, I got them here.
And also, I will say that's how I've been running game for years. Before I heard about that experiment, I was like, that's how I've ever hooked any man I've ever wanted.
Oh, see, I
just sat and asked them questions that they were like, nobody ever asked me that.
Oh, see, that's a good way to get them. That is a very good way to get them. But I also feel like it scares them. I do it, and I feel like it scares them because they're like, oh, it's too vulnerable, too real.
That's right. So you have to like put on some music, and you have to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to run. We'll talk about how to run game later.
Yeah, I'm so wait. Chanel,
I can tell
you.
Yeah, it's so interesting too because I remember I sent you a picture of like Rita Hayworth, that like classic actress. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, you look like her. Like you have such a like vivacious, bombastic, you know, like vibe. And then when you like a boy, you're like, hi boy. I am girl. I wrote you a note. Check box yes, no, or maybe. Because I understand you're shy.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Like I'm not good at. Yeah. I have no game. I've never had game my whole life.
Look, next time you go on a dating app.
Okay.
You see a guy that you think is cute. Match with him. Once he matches back.
Okay.
Message him and say, where are you at right now?
What?
Yeah. And then wait.
What?
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
Yeah, where are you at? Don't ask him anything else. Where are you at right now?
But what if they tell me?
Then you say, how long are you going to be there?
And then you go there?
No, but you show them the urgency of, I'm not trying to chat with you. Let's meet up and see what's up. This is one of many avenues. I'll write a book later.
Oh my God. Where are you at right now?
Yeah. So, one question mark, not two.
Oh, have you seen my text messages?
No.
They're question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. Oh my God.
You gotta calm down.
I gotta learn from you. I got so much to learn from you.
The book is getting crazy.
Ooh, I don't like this.
Oh.
This one's kind of scary.
No, say it. Now you gotta say it.
Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fall off something.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's like my greatest fear is like a slip and fall off of some type of height. It's like my absolute greatest fear, and I'm really, really afraid of heights. And I just feel like I've had a lot of nightmares where I'm like just like free falling, and I'm like, my will is on my laptop. I don't know. I'm just like trying to get a last. I'm trying to get a last message out. Give it all to my brother. Because that's what I would do if I felt like I was dying and I had a few seconds. I'd try to get a message out.
That scares me.
Yeah, that's pretty specific. Or like something with the neck maybe. Like some type of like
suffocating.
No.
Someone choking me?
No, like some type of like larynx disease. I don't know. Like some type of, because I do feel like my neck is very sensitive. Like in the winter, if I don't wear a scarf or like really stay bundled up, I get sick so easily. I'm like, my neck is not strong.
Oh, wow.
Okay, those are like my two top fears for death.
Okay. Gosh, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, I know. I feel good about it though.
Wow.
Even like if I'm like at a place that's high and I'm walking with someone, I'll say, I'm scared, just so they know to be on alert.
Does the fear of heights come from anything or just?
I think common sense, but pilots have told me different. And one time a pilot, I told him I was really afraid of flying. Like I just met him after a show and he was like, what is it that you're afraid of? Is it the confined space? Or is it like just like the height of like how high we are? And I was like, it's the concept of flight.
Yeah.
That scares me. The idea.
I love how you have your own fear and then he just gives you two more fears.
Yeah, right? I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what do you mean? the tight space.
Yeah. Do you get anxiety when you're on flights?
Yeah, but I've worked at it a lot. Like a lot of meditation, like doing research to understand how planes work. I had to do that.
You
Like,
did?
Yeah. I still don't really know, but I hear that the systems are pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, air travel is the safest way to travel.
Like I had heard that a long time ago, and I just don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah.
Because
it's a fact, and I've said, I think it was a Snapple fact.
Okay.
But it's just because per
car accidents happen a lot more often.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. We're in the air though, and
Yeah.
it's just like there's only so much troubleshooting we can do in the air.
Yeah.
And then we got to get down if something that's a long time.
It's a long time.
You can't just get immediately down.
Yeah. Tell your partner something that you like about them already.
Is this you?
I guess I'm your partner. Oh no, let's call up your partner.
I don't know. He might be asleep. No. Something I like about you. I really like that you trust your heart and you listen to it. And I was so proud of you when you had a quinceañera. That was really, really impressive and really cool.
Thank you.
Like you had a vision to celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
And to even like, I would say heal something from your childhood that you probably didn't have in a way that you wanted.
Well, it was because I wasn't able to have one when I was 15. So,
and you know how many people live their whole life where they're like, oh, I never had that when I was a kid and I always wanted one. And they just die. They live their whole life and then die.
Well, that's it. Because I got my dress at the last quinceañera dress shop in San Francisco in the Mission. And when I was there, I was like, do you have a lot of people coming to celebrate your doble quinceañera or whatever? And she's like, yeah, a lot of people. And last week, a woman came in, 90.
Yes.
And she's like, I just always wanted a quinceañera. So she's got the whole dress, got the whole everything. And I'm like, oh, see, that's the kind of energy that's like, I mean, for me, it was like it's like a celebration. It's a coming of age celebration. And for me, this was a big marker of like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to become a woman now. This is me. This is it. I'm ready.
On your own terms.
On my own terms.
And the way that you want to celebrate.
Yeah.
With the people that are important to you and like around locally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really impressive. It's really dope. It's really dope. I want you to like say that to yourself more often, how dope you are. And also I just recognized that when, you know, in Indiana, when I talked to you that one day, because you were like, oh man, I really want to try this drink. And you were just like, you really were, every decision you were making that day, even if you felt like you weren't in a good place, you were doing it with your heart. And I was like, this girl's like me. I want to hang out with her.
We did the thing. Hey, I was really that was a really good friendship. I think that was the highlight of the festival, and I think that was really cool to have been able to meet you and just connect with you. And
I think because we had a little bit of like, you were an opener on a show that I was headlining, and so I felt this almost like a little anxiety where you were like, I don't know if this girl's gonna be nice or personable. Like, we're at this American festival, whatever. And I was like, bitch, I ain't nobody. Girl, we both at this basement together. I'm doing 10 more minutes than you. We out here. Yo, it's you and me.
We're going to make it happen.
It ended up being okay.
It ended up being a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ended up working.
Because remember, they changed up the COVID rules last minute and the people weren't happy.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. That was
like you had to show your vaccine.
And some people couldn't get in.
And Indiana was like, what?
And Indiana, the drinks are so cheap.
Yeah.
I could never live there.
No.
I'd have a problem. Do I get to ask you one?
Oh, you want to ask me a question?
Does that ever happen?
No, no one's ever asked me that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
That's the green card.
Ooh.
For what in your life do you feel most grateful?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I'd have to say my family, my mom, my sister, my grandparents, because I think without they were very like solid foundation. I think they're really supportive. They've always been like, my sister's always been like really good growing up, and
they like ground you in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd say my friends after that. I'd say really important units. But I think that's such a cliche thing to say, like family and friends. But I think
there's more. What else what else are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for you know what? There's this guy over here at the bodega.
he matters.
And he says hi to me, and it makes me feel so special.
Bodega guy.
Keep
it going,
you
man.
are the one. Like because my bicycle is parked over there, and every day he's like, "Hi,
that's
good morning,
lovely.
Have a good cycle," and it just makes me feel, because I feel like living in a big city, you lose the community aspect of it. And so having people, I'm like, Bodega guy is actually the only person who cares or knows where I am.
If the cops come around, he's like, oh, I haven't seen that girl on the bike in a while.
Yeah. Whereas like my neighbors don't know.
No.
I don't even know the names of half the people in the building. And whereas the Bodega guy actually makes my heart smile. Like
I feel that, especially coming from New York City.
Yeah.
I've had a few bodega guys in my life that have kept me grounded.
They keep you grounded. I love any place that you go to that makes you feel like I want to go there because of how they make me feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get much there, but I don't ever go in really. What are you grateful for?
Oh, I'm really grateful for my friends, definitely. I think that's like pretty much the most important thing in my life, I would say. I'm really grateful for my humility. Yeah, I feel really grateful that I'm able to make the best out of scenarios and feel compelled to like change and do things.
Right.
I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful that I get to laugh so much.
Yes.
I think I'm so grateful for that. Like, I think it just makes us look young and bright. And when I think about like how many minutes a day, a week, a month, a year.
We were in a lucky position to be able to laugh this much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lifestyle.
Do you listen to shows a lot? Do you stay and watch shows?
Yeah, a lot. I love comedy. I mean, sometimes I get sick of it, but I do love it.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm still a fan.
Yeah. Should we ask one more?
Oh, yeah, we got time?
We have time.
If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
The ability to stop overthinking.
Really? That's the one thing? Stop overthinking? Invisibility cloak.
Oh, okay.
Travel at the speed of light.
Yeah, but I'd still be overthinking.
For a second. And then you'd be there.
Then I'd be there. Yeah. I guess. Okay.
Okay, but I appreciate that. If you know that would maybe make you stronger or better. In
flying,
life.
maybe. I'd fly.
Flying?
I'd like to fly.
I told you about my fear of heights.
Yeah.
I want to transport. I don't want to fly. I want to bloop, bloop.
Yeah, I'm there.
Teleportation.
There we go.
She's trying to not overthink. Girl, drink some tea. Where you teleporting today?
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
We're just hanging out.
We're hanging out. We're doing the thing.
I'm having a great
Uh-oh.
When did you last cry in front of another person? And then it has another question. By yourself.
I almost started crying when you went to go change. So yesterday we were at like
a social club.
Yeah, social club. We were at the pool, and this guy was yelling at the girl working, saying like, "You don't know who I am."
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna tip. Take away the service.
You
charge.
don't know who I am, is what he was saying at a pool.
This was the worst.
Does anybody know who I am?
Nobody knows.
He was saying that.
Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knew that guy. Never saw that guy in my life.
And so I when you went to the bathroom, I apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. But then I was like, kind of like starting to tear up because it just made me sad.
Yeah, it was. Really
it just made me so sad. I feel like I tear up a lot of a lot of moments.
Me too. I am a bit of a ham sometimes with like my emotions, and sometimes just somebody else crying will get me. But the last time I cried really good is when I fell asleep on the train from London to Edinburgh, and I woke up like right when we were on the coast on the way up to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And I just looked out the window and I was like just so taken aback and had such a like wild realization of how far I had come and where I was going and how I was about to do this festival that I had wanted to do for so long. Yeah. And how I, had money in my pocket. Yeah. And I was just like counting how all of those things were happening, and yeah, I just became overcome with emotion. And I cried for a while. Like, people definitely saw me on the train crying. But, I was not doing the, like, something is wrong crying. It was very much like a grateful tear.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but
oh, that's a beautiful tear.
yeah, that's the last time I cried. And then by myself, I'd be crying watching TV. I'd be crying watching YouTube.
Yes.
I'd be crying on TikTok.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody reunite with their lost pet.
Oh my God, the pets get me.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
You guys don't have Uber Share out here.
No, do you still have that?
Yeah, we brought. Well, it used to be called
Uber Pool.
Uber Pool.
Yeah.
They brought it back and they call it Uber Share now. But they like silently brought it back. I don't think they told enough. Like they didn't. I don't know whatever notification they pushed out in the app, but it's not enough because now sometimes people in New York City accidentally order it and they don't know. And I actually picked up a British couple. Like I was already in the Uber and they were picked up next. And the girl gets in the backseat with me and the guy opens the front door and then he looks at me and he's like, would you please get out of my Uber? And I was like, what? And he's like, you're in my Uber, please get out. And I was like,
what?
You're actually in an Uber Share. So that means you agreed to share your ride with someone else to save money, just like me. And he was like, so then he got in the car and the girl turns to me and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you're a man, so it's fine. So then he's like, trying to diffuse the tension because he feels terrible about himself. Like,
yeah.
And he's talking to the driver like, I never heard of this. Like, this is new. This is a brand new thing that you guys have been doing.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, we just call it something different. But yeah, like the app told you, whatever. And he's just burying himself. And then the driver starts shushing him. Like the guy's asking him more questions about Uber Share and the driver says, shh. And he says, did you just shush me? Shh.
Oh my God.
Glorious.
Oh my God.
Glorious.
I love that so much.
I loved it. And me and the girl, I'm telling you, that girl looked at me like, do I have to break up with him? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
She literally looked at me like, oh no. Am I one of those girls that's with a terrible man? And I was like, you are.
Yeah.
Girl,
Sorry,
I was
babe.
just trying to have a cheap ride home. I didn't want to have to tell you, but look, he's terrible. Look how he's talking to this black girl and this immigrant driver who is now shushing him.
Yeah.
I think he's
That's
bad.
so funny.
Ooh, girl, I was trying to listen to my music. I didn't want to be part of this. But I'm telling you, her face was like, oh no. Like, if I stay with him, I was like, bad things will happen. He's
Bad things. He's
he
not a
might
good guy.
hit ya one day. Out of anger.
I don't like that. I don't like that energy from him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I did think it would be interesting to do Uber shares here. But I do get pissed off if they pick up too many people. I'm like, what is this, the bus?
Yeah.
I don't...
Or when you're on a long journey and then they pick up multiple people and it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Or if we pick up someone else and they're like taking forever to get in the car, I'm like, hey,
you got
now.
2 minutes. You got
Come
2
on now.
minutes. Yeah.
I picked up this girl the other day. She had like 18 bags, and she did the same thing. She was like, I didn't know it was Uber Share. And I was like, well, hurry up and get your bags in the car. I was like, I don't care. Hurry up. We got to go. We did it.
We did the thing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Is there anything that you got coming up that you want to talk about?
So many things. I don't know, but you can follow me on Instagram at Chanel Ali. That's Chanel like the perfume. Ali like Muhammad. Also, I have a website, ChanelAli.com, where you can see where I'm going to be.